Today on our 2015 Hyundai Santa Fe, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Curt T-Connector vehicle wiring harness for factory tow package with a 4-pole flat trailer connector. And that's going to be part number C56332. So here's what our wiring is going to look like once we have it installed. It is designed to stay on the outside of the vehicle at all times, and it is going to provide us a 4-pole flat trailer connector, giving us all the required lights to get down the road safely, like our tail lights, turn signals, and our brake lights. The dust cover is going to keep all the moisture and debris out, and also whenever we're not towing, we can just hook it to the safety chain loop and it'll be ready for us whenever we hook up. As far as the installation goes, we're not going to have to cut or splice into our wiring at all. There's going to be a couple connectors underneath the bumper that are going to be already there from the factory that we'll plug directly into. Then we'll just put a 10 amp fuse in place in the inline fuse holder and we're ready to go. Let's show you how to do that now. To begin our installation, we're going to come to the driver's side rear. We're going to have this plastic panel on the very outside of our bumper. Now we're going to have several pushpin fasteners holding it in place. So we're going to grab a Phillips screwdriver, and you don't want to put too much pressure pushing upwards, but you want to unthread the center section. And once you unthread that center section of the pushpin, it's going to release, and then we can pull it out. We're going to have several of them going along the edge here. And with the push pins removed, we're going to pull the panel in towards the center. You have to just pull down on that splash guard a little bit. We're going to pull the panel out and set it aside. Now behind that panel, we're going to have several plugs. We're going to be paying attention to the one towards the front of our vehicle. It's going to have a cover on it with 4 pins. So we're going to want to grab that cover. There's a small tab. Go ahead and squeeze the tab. And pull the cover off. The next one we're going to be paying attention to is the gray connector. It's going to have a black cover on it, and on the back side there is going to be a tab. Just going to squeeze it and pull it off. Now if we grab our harness, we're going to have 2 connectors on it that'll match up with the ones that are on our vehicle. But before we plug them in, I'm going to put a little bit of dielectric grease on the connectors, and that's just going to help keep the moisture out and hopefully prevent any kind of corrosion buildup. Then we're just going to take our connectors and match them up. Plug them in, making sure that they lock into place. Just give it a gentle tug to make sure it's locked. With our connections made, we can go ahead and come to the fuse holder. We're going to go ahead and open it up. We're going to put in this provided 10 amp fuse. Next, we're going to need to find a spot to mount our converter box. We're going to want to use the excess wire to our advantage. We're just going to route it along the back of the bumper area here, and we're going to find that we have a factory connector that has a push pin connected to it, holding it along the bumper here. So we'll take a zip tie. We're going to go through the converter box, and we'll wrap it around the existing wiring, and then we'll go back and secure the rest of the wires, helping support it. Just want to make sure you get it tucked in there as high and as tightly as you can. And right by this bumper support here, we can take another zip tie going through the bumper support, then wrap it around the wire and secure it there as well. You want to push everything as far back in the bumper as you can so we don't have to worry about our spare tire interfering with it at all. And the excess wires back here, I'm just going to zip tie it to these existing wirings. That way it'll be out of the way and we can put our panel back in place. Now what I like to do to make sure that I don't have too much wire and it's not going to drag the ground, is I'm going to take my dust cover off my 4-pole. I'm going to connect it to my hitch here and just roughly figure out about how much wire I'm going to need, and then take the excess, bundle it up behind the bumper, and zip tie it up. It'll give it a little bit nicer of a look, and also again just keeping it from dragging the ground. So with our wiring in place, we can go ahead and put our panel back. And just kind of pull down on that lower shield in the back, get everything to line up. And then with the push pins, We're going to push that outer section in. This time we don't need a screwdriver, we're just going to push it in and it'll lock it into place. Now all we have left to do is go ahead and test our circuits and make sure everything's working properly. So I'm going to plug in my 4-pole tester, and if you need one of these you can pick one up here at eTrailer.com using part number I26. So I'll go ahead and run through my lights and verify that they're all working. So if I turn my headlights on, we can see that those are working, as well as the left turn, the right turn, and my brakes. All we have left to do is hook up to our trailer and hit the road. And that'll finish up your look at the Curt T-Connector vehicle wiring harness for factory tow package with a 4-pole flat trailer connector, part number C56332 on our 2015 Hyundai Santa Fe.